Hello, this is James Helm of Helm Enterprises, standing outside the world headquarters just south of San Antonio, Texas. Been a while since I've done a video. Had kind of an interesting project I just wanted to show y'all. It is the largest carcass splitter I have done so far.
Boom, 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 boom.
Stop it.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Good gosh, stop it.
Boom. Okay.
So because I'm posting this stuff on the internet, you of course have people that come along and say, well, that doesn't look like the carcass splitter that I know. That looks more like a Chinese dado.
And they say it exactly like that.
They say it exactly like that. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, this is inspired by antique carcass splitters. This one even more so than my previous ones. But I'm going to do a comparison real quick.
Well, James, would you so happen to have an antique carcass splitter with you? That's yes. Look, it's right there.
I happen to have an antique one.
Yay!
That I will be comparing. Note, this is not the end-all be-all of antique carcass splitters, because I've seen plenty of them that look closer to this than they do to this.
Like women on the internet.
Because there's differences.
Like women on the internet. Okay, sorry.
Damn camera!
Good. I'm still rolling.
Now just stay back where you are.
Oh, again.
Stay back where you are. You are a living, hopefully silent tripod.
That hurts a little.
I'm sorry.
You're rolling. Go.
And by my laughing, I'm indicating I'm not really.
You're rolling. Okay. Go.
So this is an antique carcass splitter that I was given by a customer. The blade is 12 3/4 inches long. At its widest, if it wasn't broken, it'd be about 6.5 inches wide. Overall length is 31 inches. Spine thickness, thickest at the base, is approximately 1/16 under a half, which is what?
Between 3/8 and half an inch.
7/16.
Yes, I'm bad at math. Probably no good math.
Yeah, me too. 7/16 thick spine at its thickest point. It appears to be made, and I don't think you can see this on the camera, but it appears to be made from 3 pieces of metal, probably wrought iron for the body of the blade and for the handle, and then it's old enough it's probably shear steel, forge welded on for the blade. And it has a split wood handle slab, pretty rough and crude. It may be a rehandle job, I don't know. Rather nice taper to the tang, riveted on with some cutler's rivets. The weight is very blade forward, and it is just under 6.5 pounds. You can see where the point of balance is. It's very blade heavy. So, for comparison, my carcass splitter, which is the biggest one that I've done, biggest blade I have ever done, is just under 5 pounds. It's like 4.9 pounds. Point of balance is right at the Turk's head knot. Blade at its widest point is a smidge under, oh, it's 3.5. Okay, right at 3.5. Blade length is 18 inches, and overall length is 40.5. So, this, even though the weight isn't all that much different, is balanced very differently. This can still be swung, albeit with some effort, one-handed fairly decently. Which, I'm surrounded by junk right now, so I'm going to not swing around too wildly at the moment.
He considers me junk.
Well, no. This, on the other hand, was never intended to be swung one-handed. Basically, the way it's built is it rests nicely on your shoulder, until you're ready to basically drop it down onto a beef carcass to break it down into more manageable portions.
Or pig.
Or pig. At one time, it had a pretty nice convex bevel. You can see it's really battered. Right now, it is not sharp. You could probably cut some stuff if you worked at it, but it's not the kind of thing that you're gonna...
It's seen better days.
It's seen better days. You're not gonna go clear brush with this. You wouldn't have when it was new. You certainly wouldn't now. My carcass splitter, it's a flat grind with a secondary bevel. Shaves hair. And it's a lot more nimble.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's like a ninja. Like a ninja bear. A bear ninja. An Amish ninja, if you will. Look at him, swirling, twirling, like a wild dervish in a tornado. Okay, I'm done.
So it's heavy,
But
it's still fairly nimble.
the bucket.
No.
Oh, okay.
So, weighted quite a bit differently from the antique carcass splitter. This one, if you try to swing it around too vigorously, you're going to end up spraining your wrists.
Or tearing a rotator cuff.
Tearing your rotator.
But if you want to be the big head cheese down at the packing plant, that's the way you did it back in the day.
Head cheese?
Head cheese, yes.
The big head
cheese.
cheese.
The big head cheese.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
Was that a deliberate joke?
Yes, it was.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
A little bit of construction details on this one. This is forged from 1/4 inch thick by 3 inch wide 5160. Before I trimmed the end, it actually was 4 inches wide at its widest. But trimming it down, it's now 3.5. This one was a little interesting because the only hand hammering I did was to straighten it up. The actual shaping is done with the power hammer. You can see some power hammer marks here. The spine is very rounded. That's because that's the edge of the 5160 bar. It was rounded over. I forced it out and you still have the factory roundness there. Usually I'll do most of the forging with a power hammer to get my rough shape, but then I will smooth out all the power hammer marks. You can still see some over here. Smooth out all of the power hammer marks and get my final shape by hand. This one, I used my power hammer skills to get what I needed.
Which there's
handle,
nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. The handle has a nice graceful taper and it widens out right at the butt. A nice elongated sine curve through the whole length. There is a fellow whose account name is Upbeat Vintage on Instagram, who's been posting a number of antique butcher's cleavers that he restores and then resells. That kind of inspired me to go with this shape. This is the first one that I've given a curved handle to. The others have been straight.
It's like a modified fawn.
It's similar to a fawn's foot off of a single bit axe handle. A lot of the antique ones don't have wooden scales. They have waxed linen cord that's wrapped around the tang. This one, I actually have a foundation of neoprene underneath both sides, and then it's wrapped in hemp cord that's then impregnated with West System Marine epoxy. Makes it rock solid, waterproof, with a paracord Turk's head knot, 3-strand up here at the front. Makes a nice little finial and also a little bit of a mechanical lock to keep your hands going forward. So, I like this. This is not the last one I'm going to make. I'm thinking I just need to have one of these on my table at the Blade Show coming up first weekend in June. So, anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see if we can get a video quicker than the wait it's been this time.
9 months.
Something like that. Thanks.
Go.
And because this is really dangerous to try to even have around the shop without some means of protecting you from the edge, I built an open back Kydex sheath. Locks into the hanging hole nicely, and then has a strap that comes with a buckle that comes around and
Retain.
make sure it stays in place. And then you just pull straight out, pops out fairly easily. This one was spoken for before I finished forging it. Thank you to the customer. And now I got to try to ship this sucker.
If anyone has any recommendations for box stores,
I've got a big box. Probably too big.
that's what she said. Okay, go ahead.
Well, that's not the kind of carcass splitter that I be-deeb-a-deeb-a-deeb.
It's not what the Indians use.
It's not what the Indians used.
I mean, feather, not dot.
Yeah.
Either or.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that would be sacrilege.
Helm's Law #1 is people are idiots. And there's a reason it's the first law.